In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to process text data in PySpark. So the raw data is in this CSV file where we have the columns as text, which is essentially a review given by a user on a product. So we are going to process this text column in PySpark. So the steps are, first we're going to read the data. Then we're going to remove the unnecessary characters in the text column, commas, full stops, special characters, inverted commas, and so on. Then we do something called tokenization, which is essentially breaking up the text into individual words. From these words, from these collection of words, I'm going to remove the stopwords. Stopwords are filler words which we use in our communication, like the, and, in, and so on. We're going to remove them. From this final list of words, I'm going to create a word count for each word, how many times each word is getting repeated in the entire text, and finally create or plot a word cloud based on the frequency of words. So first I'm importing all the libraries and modules. I imported a Spark session and imported all the functions. Next I'm creating a Spark session object. I called it text processing. I created a master, I configured an executor with 512 MB memory, and I created a Spark session object. I set the log level error and I load the data. So once I load the data, I want to look at the schema. This is the schema and my text data is in the last column. Let's look at part of the data. So this is the data. Let's give the parameter truncate is false. Okay, so now we could see the data better. So what I want to do first is, for all the text data, I want to replace these special characters or commas and full stops kind of stuff. I could do that by using a regular expression replace. So I will call the new data frame as df clean, and with column, the column is text, and I use regular expression replace, and I give this column, I want to replace all the characters which are not lowercase a to z and which are not uppercase a to z and space. So whichever is not falling in these characters, I want to replace that with an empty space. I'll close the bracket and I will chain this with another constraint, which is I will give the text column and I want to replace the text wherever I have spaces, which is more than one space, that is given by plus. I want to replace that with a single space, and I'll close the bracket finally, and after cleaning, look at the items and truncate is false. Okay, so in this refined text, in the refined data frame df clean, we could see the apostrophes, the commas, the full stops, the other special characters are all removed. Now we'll try to tokenize the text data. We have an MLlib library which has the tokenizer module, so I'll import that from PySpark.ml.feature import tokenizer. Once I import it, I initialize the tokenizer object. Tokenizer input call is text and output call is, I'll call that as words. So my new data frame df with, call it df with words, tokenizer dot transform df clean data frame. I want to look at the first 5 items in the new data frame. Okay, so we got the new data frame where you could see the text column is broken up into individual tokens or words. Next, what I want to do is I'll remove the stop words. So what are stop words? Stop words are commonly used words that are often excluded from text processing tasks such as NLP and information retrieval. These words such as the, and, is, or, they're just filler words which doesn't have or doesn't carry inherently any meaning. So we'll remove these stop words from the text processed or the tokens which you have created. So we'll again import another library, PySpark.ml.feature, import stopwords remover. Now remover, I'm creating an object. The new column which we created, words, and output call is, let's call it filtered words. This remover dot transform, I'll transform the df with words. I'll finally look at it. Okay, so this is the text. These are the tokens or words column, and this is the filtered words column which we have created now, removing all the stop words. Now once we do this, we'll compute the word frequency. How many times each word is repeated. For example, if we take little, in the overall text, how many times it is repeated. That's what we're going to compute next. So we'll use an explode function to create a new column for each word. So we call it df exploded. Stop words removed. We'll take this data frame and we'll select explode this filtered words column. We'll give the alias for that column as the word. I'll count the words, df exploded dot group by word. Each word will group it and count each word, and also order by count. It should be in descending order, which is essentially ascending is false. Look at the first 50 words. So what we got right now is the words, each word in the text, and how many times it is repeated in the text. Looking the words like this is not effective. We could create some map out of it that is essentially called a word cloud, and then plot it using matplotlib. So I'm downloading two libraries, pip install word cloud and matplotlib. So once I downloaded it, I'll import both matplotlib and word cloud into this Jupyter notebook. I'll create a word frequency dictionary based on this data frame. This is the key, this is the value for each row in word count.collect. I'm creating a word cloud object with the configuration, and finally I'm plotting word cloud. Okay, so what it does is the most repeated word, which is like, is the biggest size. Next big size, BR, and taste, good, and so on. Okay, so that's how we process text in PySpark, create a word frequency, and finally plot it using word cloud. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching.